So Joan has a few days off. And this morning, we found out that the person that was supposed to replace Joan, for whatever reason, didn't show up this morning. Hopefully, everything is okay. And so we're carrying ABC News this morning. Couple of things, real quick. Now, maybe I'm missing something. And Sam, you may need to help me out. Am I supposed to care about these Venezuelan drug dealers that were double tapped by the Trump administration, allegedly? Because I'm having... Like I think it was Jody Messina. My give a damn's busted. Was that Jody Messina?
Yeah.
So my give a damn is busted. Here's what I don't understand. So we have the killers of Laken Riley and people like that. You know, the Americans that have been killed by illegal aliens. So Democrats had nothing to say about that. Have Democrats said a damn thing about all of the people that have been killed by these Indian truck drivers that get behind? They're illiterate in their own darn language, and then they come here and they can't read. They can't read road signs, and they can't speak the language, and that yet they're given, the opportunity, thanks to Gavin Newsom in the state of California, they're given the CDLs so that they can drive these 18-wheelers, and they kill people. Have the Democrats said anything about that? No, they haven't. Have the Democrats really said much about the members of the National Guard? One is still fighting for his life. The other one was killed last, I think it was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday when that happened. Have the Democrats really said much about that except to blame Donald Trump for having the National Guard there in the District of Columbia? No, they haven't said a damn thing.
Except for calling them, the Gestapo and the SS.
Don't even get me started on that. Demonizing them, of course. And so all of a sudden we've got all of this hand-wringing about, the Trump administration allegedly double-tapped these Venezuelan drug dealers. Now, if you're unfamiliar, and I'm going to be honest with you, this isn't even, I didn't even have this on my content bingo card today. But here's what happened. So apparently, drug dealers coming with a bunch of drugs in a boat. We took out the boat. And apparently there were a couple of drug dealers that were, I guess, hanging on for dear life in the water, and we are being accused of bombing these two and killing them. So, I mean, Pete Hegseth, I think he's denying that he gave that order. So, and Donald Trump, I mean, he said, I'm standing by Pete Hegseth. So, I don't know. My give a damn's busted. That's exactly right. I don't care about the Venezuelans. Now, if we broke any kind of law, then obviously we need to deal with that. But I think that what always seems to get me so incredibly frustrated is just the convenient outrage when they want to be outraged over something like, for example, drug dealers that may have been killed by the Trump administration, as opposed to the people that have been killed by all of these illegal aliens that have come into our country, either driving trucks or paroled into our country, whatever, driving trucks and murdering, Americans, like what happened to Laken Riley. So nobody has anything to say about any of that, but we're supposed to hand-wring over a couple of drug dealers in the water, and they took them out with a second bomb. Now, I suppose if I was going to, go down this road a little bit more, you would then ask the question, all right, so why would we need to have that second tap? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's sharks in that water, but I mean,
they
you probably would have eventually drowned, but if they had a phone, they could have called somebody.
Well, realistically, as morbid as it may sound, what happened was probably far more quick and painless compared to the latter of being left to either be eaten alive or drown, freeze to death. All sorts of things can
The
happen.
waters in the Caribbean are pretty warm, actually.
But
which means there's a lot of sharks.
That's true, and it's just depending on the time of day. If this is a night mission, as it still gets cold enough to give you that hypothermia.
Got it. So, Sam, is that your official position that if we double tapped these drug lords, then we did them a favor? Is that your official position?
I'm saying a quick and painless death is better than a slow suffering one.
I would rather take a quick and painless versus getting eaten by a shark and bleeding out in the water.
Yeah, and they like to shake side to side once they get a hold of you. That's not.
Oh, do they?
Mm-hmm. That's why it's been my preferred. If I was ever elected theocratic fascist dictator of the world, I would have the pedophiles executed in a shark feeding frenzy and charge money for tickets.
Sharks got to eat.
They got to eat. And it's a pretty good deterrent, I would imagine.
Maybe we should do a Daily Dan poll. Because we know how the previous one worked out for the host. Earlier today, we were talking about how Joan was out and whoever was supposed to replace Joan in the newsroom didn't show up. So I had a Daily Dan poll in the 5, which was, should we just run ABC News or shouldn't we? Was it 86, 87% said no, don't run ABC News? And so
it was 86%.
So then I, of course, go with it. And I'm like, all right, we're going to put ABC News in timeout like Uncle Phil did that one day. And then the one person whose vote really matters, which is the boss,
overruled,
told me to stop it. And so I did. And we're running ABC News because I'm nothing but a corporate stooge.
You're a Republican establishment shill, Mandis.
I've been called that. You know what? I've been called that today, as a matter of fact. A Republican establishment shill, which, okay, whatever. Hey, by the way, I want to hear a little bit of Donald Trump. But by the way, so I don't know. Should I care more about this story? You know who's going to be in trouble, though, like in all seriousness with the whole Venezuelan thing? We'll have to see ultimately how this plays out. They could go after Pete Hegseth. Like, they could go after him for, like, I don't know, whatever, war crimes and that kind of thing. Because if he did, and Hegseth says that he did not order that second tap. Well, then I don't know what happened. And I don't know if anybody really knows what happens. This is going to be something, but good Lord. I mean, CNN is obsessed with this story. Every time I look up there, they're hand-wringing over these, druggies that were taken out by the Trump administration. I don't know why. I don't know why we would. You know what I would, if I was going to complain about this, I would actually say that I would complain about a lack of efficiency on the Trump administration. Like, you should take them out with just one. You don't need to wait. How much, you know what? How much is the bomb? Let's ask this question. This may be bordering on ridiculous, but how much was that bomb that if we did send that second bomb and we took them out with a second bomb as they're floating in the water, how much was that bomb? Like, I don't know how much those things cost to manufacture. Had to be expensive. And so if I was going to complain about anything, I might complain about the inefficiency of the Trump administration. It should only take one, Trump. That's all I'm saying. It should only take one. But other than that, I could, again, my give a damn is busted. But maybe if I was a better talk show host, I would care about the delicate sensibilities of the Venezuelan drug lords. Did we figure out, Sam, how much it cost us if indeed we did double tap those Venezuelan terrorists?
I'm still looking at it, but one of the things I have found is that apparently for one of them, I won't say which, the MQ-9 Reaper drone was suspected to be used in one of the strikes, and that is a $33 million piece of equipment when it leaves the airspace.
Sharon says on the super text line, MSM, mainstream media, only cares about Venezuelan drug dealers. I mean, that's true. Let's see. If the first bomb should have killed them and didn't, why does it matter if a second bomb did? That's a good point, actually. Like, why does it matter if it took, aside from the sheer inefficiency of the Trump administration, I say tongue-in-cheek, why does anybody care if it took two bombs? I'm sure that there's a legal reason. I'm sure people are going to talk about war crimes in international waters and all. Trust me when I say I know that argument is out there. But, to me, 1744 says Washington loves its pedophiles, apparently. I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about now.
I guess they're trying to use, people are saying that it's some kind of cover up. And
Oh.
So I've got some kind of general cost now of operational costs. Apparently to have the carrier strike group in the region costs about $6.5 million per day. And then if they use a single Hellfire missile, that costs $150,000. And if they're shooting that missile from an F-35, it costs about $40,000 an hour to fly. And that Reaper drone that I just mentioned costs about $3,500 per hour to fly. So the Reaper drone is actually far more efficient.
Okay, there you go.
Concerned, but
I mean, I would have just let him drown, but whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they called another boat, they would have come in and rescued the Venezuelan guys. And
mercy ain't cheap.
Mercy ain't cheap. Okay, that's going to be our saying of the day, our phrase that pays for the morning show. Mercy ain't cheap. By the way, Donald, I was talking earlier about President Trump and how he wants to, pause all migration from, as he says, third world countries, immigration. And I get what he's doing. And it makes all the sense in the world, whether we're talking about Somalians. And we've done a lot of news today. I mean, we talked about the rampant fraud going on in Minnesota with the Somalians. We can talk about any number of things. But, I think it's a legit question to ask, and I'm not going to belabor the point. But listen, I think that we pause all migration coming into this country, and we focus on helping the young adults buy homes and have children that are American citizens. Why would we not do that? We spend millions and millions, perhaps billions of dollars every single year at the state and the federal level helping illegal aliens and also people that have come into our country, migrants and visas and the whole thing. And just stop all that. I mean, we've already essentially stopped illegal immigration, thankfully, thanks to the Trump administration. Just pause. Not only do we pause all visa programs, realistically, if we can, stop all the visa programs, stop the paroling, and stop people coming into our country, and essentially get rid of the dead weight. In other words, if you're somebody in this country, I almost dropped the F-bomb. If you're a Somalian in Minnesota and you've been caught ripping off the government through all of this fraud, well, then your butt needs to go back to Somalia. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to give that money to a young American family that wants to purchase a home. That's what we're going to do. In other words, why are we spending all this money on foreigners over and over and over again when our own citizens are having trouble purchasing homes? If affordability, and this is what I tweeted, if affordability is such a big deal for the American people, then why don't we make it more affordable by getting rid of the dead weight that we have in this country, the illegal aliens? This is what Donald Trump had to say.
What do you mean by reverse migration? It means get people out that are in our country. Get them out of here. I want to get them out. We got a lot of people in our country that shouldn't be here, and they came in through Biden, and he was the worst president in the history of our country. But the single biggest thing he did was allow millions of people into our country that shouldn't be here. Drug dealers, prisons were opened up and allowed to come into our country. You take a look at the people that were allowed to come into our country. We're paying a big price for it, and we will for years to come, including the recent killer of two wonderful National Guards people. And I'll tell you what, that animal should not have been allowed to come into our country.
We got an EJ Haust alert. I've been promoting you all morning long. EJ, hello.
Good morning.
You got her mic on?
It says on. Big light.
Sam's been screwing up all day. I hope. Is Mason coming in to replace you? I hope so, because
Mason is working with me today, 9 to 12.
All right. So how long has it been since you hosted?
Gosh.
I was just kidding, by the way, Sam.
Few months, probably.
It's been a few months?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. So there's a lot that you have. I've been promoting you all day because of Minnesota.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got that Minnesota connection. I call myself a political refugee from Minnesota, Stan.
So you
lived there.
Minnesota,
I'm not
Stan?
from
Is that what
there.
you said? Minnesota,
Yeah.
Stan?
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, that's very good.
Yeah.
All right, but you're not there. I apologize.
Yeah. No. We lived there. My family lived there for just over a decade, and then escaped during COVID fiasco in 2020. So been here just about 6 years. And
I mean, you were the first one that clued me in, this was months ago, on all of the fraud that was taking place there.
I mean, really, but like while he was, before Walz was officially announced as the VP candidate for Kamala Harris, I was trying to sound the alarm because there were plenty of instances of fraud, of just being a bad person.
Did you know that he was such a bully, though? Like the DHS people in Minnesota are like, we've been trying to talk about this and whistleblow, and he's been shutting us down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, everybody knows that. I've always said he was a very angry little man. So that
people have said that about me, though, too.
Show, no, never. But that kind of dog and pony show, that weird persona that he put on during the campaign is not who he is. Anybody who's followed him or had to live under his reign as governor and when he was in the House knows that he's a very vindictive and angry, awful person. And apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You can see it in his daughter, Hope. She's pretty angry, too. They're just not very nice people.
She actually just, and I don't even have it in my stack of stuff today, but she has recently announced that she will not be attending the university that she was accepted to because she doesn't feel like, if I remember right, she said that they don't protect the students of that school or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Doesn't surprise me. They always have to have something to argue about and complain about.
Bizarre. I mean, his wife is weird.
Oh yeah, they're crazy eyes. Weird. It's always in the eyes.
Is it always in the eyes?
She's got crazy eyes, man. You can just tell.
Does Afton Bain have crazy eyes? Because I think she's crazy.
Oh, she is Looney Tunes. I mean, cuckoo nutty, that one. Yeah.
We realized earlier during the broadcast that she's got multiple personalities and none of them are good.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, a little schizo. And I mean no disrespect for people who actually suffer from schizophrenia, but she's cuckoo nutty.
She is, and you live in the 7th.
I do.
Actually.
Yep,
so,
sure do.
I mean, I'm not going to ask you if you voted or not, but if you want to throw that out, you can. But what are people talking about in the 7th?
We're tired of the mailers. We're tired of the television ads. We are tired of hearing about it, actually, over and over and over again. A lot of other stuff going on, holidays, kids being out of school, kids going back to school today, traffic, it's cold, it's only 27 degrees outside. It just seems like there's so much else out there to talk about. Mm-hmm. And we're getting to like beating a dead horse, level of insanity here.
I don't think that anybody's mind is not made up.
Yeah.
So obviously if you're a Democrat, you're going to vote for Afton Bain. If you're a Republican, hopefully, I think there's more divide on the Republican side than on the Democrat side. I mean, Democrats, it's like anybody but red, right? Anybody but a Republican, even Afton Bain.
TDS is real, man. Like Trump derangement syndrome has taken over, and everyone on the Democrat side, in my opinion, has mental health issues. Like if you are still supporting that side of the aisle in that political party, you are supporting crazy. That's all there is to it. They seem to not battle each other and tell each other to settle down. Yeah. Where on the Republican side, we try to, quote unquote, hold people accountable. And, it costs us elections sometimes. I think we've got this one, though. I think we're okay. Polymarket is saying there's an 89% chance as of yesterday. I think they came out with another Polymarket report, something like that. So
can I ask you a question? Because you're smarter than me at this stuff. So what do you think is more accurate, Polymarket or like polling from a Emerson?
Yeah, good question. So I heard your interview with Tom Pappert. He's really terrific when it comes down to drilling down into statistics and investigative kind of reporting. He's amazing. So I trust that he's doing the work there to expose the issues with the polling. Polls can be manipulated.
Oh, absolutely.
So I tend to look to where people put their money because that's not, okay, money can be manipulated. But as far as if somebody's going to win or not, and that goes for sports betting and it goes for politics, people put their money behind things that tend to pan out a little bit more.
So I'm going to say this completely wrong, but if you're trying to make money via betting, you have no agenda.
Yeah.
Right? So you just if I'm just in it for the money, and I'm fascinated by the whole poly market thing. So if I'm just trying to make money on betting, then I'm just looking at essentially numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't care if I'm Republican or Democrat. If I'm going to put $500 on, Afton Bain because I think she's going to win, even if I'm a Republican, I just want to make money.
Right.
As opposed to polling, which, oftentimes, as you just said, and we all talk about, it can be manipulated, and you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out.
That's right. The polls can be used to manipulate. They can be used to influence elections. They can be used to, sway opinions and to suppress turnout and that sort of thing. And so I think, interestingly enough, this particular poll that says everything is so close in the 7th, more than likely pushed by the Democrat side. Mm-hmm. And I think they were trying to increase the enthusiasm of the base of the left. And I think it backfired because it scared Republicans. And so the enthusiasm is really, I think, more on the Republican side right now.
One of the things, and Tom and I didn't get into this much detail, but one of the things that they showed was that the crush from some of these rural districts and out in Montgomery County, it came in the later part of polling. And of the early voting. The reason why perhaps that is because they did see that Emerson polling, and that did scare the crap out of people, and they did come in the later part of that early voting, which, I think that's great. Obviously we need to get the vote out whenever. Are you worried about the weather impact for tomorrow?
Not really.
No?
Nah, I don't think so. If you want to vote, you're going to vote. I don't think, and if there is going to be a slick road or anything like that, it's going to be earlier in the day. There's plenty of time the rest of the day and after work to go vote. So no, I'm not worried about the weather at all.
One of the things that, and I have found this really interesting, is that, and you probably, if you've been driving in, then you probably heard me talk about this, but I'd love to get your take on it, where, Trump is talking about a pause of, migration, visas, trying to kick people out and so forth. And it would seem like if affordability is such an core issue for the Democrats, then, they would understand that, okay, so if you're worried about affordability, why don't we take all of those resources that we put into illegal aliens and migrants and immigrants coming into our country, and let's apply that to American families and families wanting to have children. Wouldn't it make more sense to apply those resources to Americans?
No, because I don't want those resources, I'm air quoting for everybody on the radio, used at all. They're
Understood.
Typically, corrupt and helping out, NGOs, we found out, USAID, obviously the fraud in Minnesota to the tune of billions, right? It's frequent.
$5-6 billion.
Oh no, it's so much more too. I have stories, and in fact, when I'm in later today, 9 to 12 today for Chris Han, I will kind of go into detail, and I've got some very personal stories to tell you about the levels of corruption there that really don't get reported nearly enough. But I would rather just see regulations be relaxed for Americans. Mm-hmm. I think you get the migrants out of our housing, our apartment complexes and things like that are now overrun with immigrants, and the complexes and the developers are getting money from the government again, wrought with fraud.
You get out all the fraud, you get out all the illegal aliens and so forth. Then you are increasing the level of housing that is available for Americans, and I think that in and of itself would do.
I think that would do a lot.
Wonders.
I really do. Particularly, look right here, just in Nashville, our rental market here is outrageous.
Oh, it's crazy.
Anybody who's got, young people, 18, 20s, early 30s, they're just desperate to get into, a nice place that's safe, that they can afford. And once they get in, they're like, oh, okay, now I don't have any money to save. They can't save anything. No wonder they can't buy a house until they're in their 40s. So, we've got to do something about that. That's a nationwide problem, but you can, right here in Middle Tennessee, it's biting.
Well, the frustrating thing, and I spoke to Matthew Hurd about this, and I realized from a political standpoint, memories are really short. But good Lord, look at the 4 years we had under Joe Biden and how bad affordability was then. And so now it's like it takes a long time to turn this ship around. And
That's
Trump
right.
hasn't even been in office for a year.
Right. And look at the direct correlation, too. We know that the Biden administration flooded migrants into this country, flooded them. Refugees, immigrants, illegal immigrants, Afghan refugees, all of it. And that is the time that the housing market was going bananas. So, clearly we can put two and two together and say,
oh, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Stop migration and a lot of other good things will happen for American citizens.
So do you think, I think I read something about Ilhan Omar, they're trying to look at that marriage too. Is it accepted that she married her brother?
It's documented.
It's documented,
yes,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, I don't think anybody is accusing her of, like, having a romantic relationship with her brother.
No.
The point was it was immigration fraud. It was trying to get...
And that's emblematic of what's going on in do you call Minnesota Little Somalia?
It's a culture problem.
Yeah.
It really is. And the Somalian culture is incompatible with American Western culture. So I'll go into more detail about this next hour, but the truth is, we're only hitting the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what is happening in Minnesota. And it's a lesson for all of us everywhere else. There are Tennessee connections. There's a man who was arrested in Memphis for immigration fraud who ended up, of course, in Minnesota because, just as Governor Tim Walz said, it is attractive to criminals. So, there's a lot more to this story, and I think it's beyond just the money, which is outrageous. Mm-hmm. It's also a culture problem that we have.
Vols versus Vandy. How'd you like that game? I know you're into college football, and so.
Not really. I mean, I'm more now than I ever was before.
Okay.
I'm usually an NFL person. I grew up in Massachusetts.
Titans up. Let's go to the phones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not great. But the game was so good. We did watch Vols.
What is it Cam Ward said?
Oh, we ass.
That's what Cam Ward said.
Oh.
He said that weeks ago, and it's still true, unfortunately. But since you brought it up, Diego Pavia for Heisman, I don't care what people say. He had the least talent in the SEC to play around, and the man balled out, set school records. I don't care about his lawsuit. I find it hilarious that his brother got arrested for a second time for public intox.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
So
it was like right after the game, too.
Pavia's brother gets arrested for being drunk and being obnoxious.
Yeah.
I mean, his brother's being obnoxious. The whole family apparently is obnoxious in the stands.
I think it's his younger brother, Javier. And so I find it amusing as an older brother. If I were to watch my younger brother get hauled off by Knox PD because I just balled out in Neyland Stadium, I'm going to be like, well, we'll deal with that later. Still the funniest moment, in my opinion, and Vols fans remember this, is when Jalen Hurts' mom got arrested at the Florida game.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts' mom got arrested for what?
When he was the running back for the Vols, she was publicly intoxicated at one of the games against Florida, and they had to remove her. And when they went to remove her, she said, "Don't you know that I'm the running back's mom?" And this was right before social media was like,
listen,
wildfire. It was still greatest arrest moment at a college football game.
It was drilled into me a long time ago. Not that I ever would, but don't ever say, "Do you know who I am?" Don't ever say that.
That
man.
ends it right there.
If I ever get pulled over, that's the last thing I'm ever going to say. Mm-hmm. Do you know who I am?
It never ends well.
With my luck, it'd be like a liberal cop. And they'd like drum up the charges. Totally kidding to my police friends.
Just got the Marconi in the front seat.
Just strapped into the seatbelt. You know what I mean? Totally kidding. All right, very good. Let's see here. Age of Disclosure. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, you've got to watch it.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
The big cover-up, the government cover-up of UFOs and UAPs and all that. All right, very good. Stranger Things?
Okay, my whole family loves it. I can take it or leave it. I'm just not that into it.
Who are you?
I know. And I'm usually like the pop culture person in the family. I pay attention to all that stuff.
You talk about pop culture stuff, and I got all excited because you were coming in. I'm like, ooh, I can talk to EJ about pop culture stuff.
Yeah, here's what happens with these series. They start out amazing. Everybody watches first 2 seasons, and it's just remarkable, right? Game of Thrones, great example. So good. And then something happens. It's almost like these writers don't know how to end it. And so go look back at Friends and Seinfeld and some of the most iconic television series of our day, of our generation, right? You get to a point where it's like, okay, it's so formulaic.
They sputtered at the end.
Right.
Seinfeld,
and
absolute
they
example of
just
sputtering
don't know
at the
how
end.
to end
Okay,
it.
but I'm telling you, and I will. Okay, so at the end of Stranger Things, I want you to pull your family.
Oh, I'm going to watch it.
And well, you know,
We'll watch it.
The thing that I like though, have you watched the first?
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
It features a radio station.
It does.
How cool is that? I don't know, Sam, if you've seen it, but Stranger Things actually features a radio station, which I'm very. Do you know what I've done?
They already have T-shirts for sale.
Tell me.
I ordered a T-shirt.
I knew
course
it.
you
It's
did.
supposed to be here. Did you hear what she just said? Of course you did.
I said I knew it. I saw the T-shirt before I knew it was in the episode. Are all the episodes out?
No, not yet.
My wife and I are waiting for a weekend to be complete vegetables on the couch.
So my T-shirt is supposed to be here like Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm going to wear it. I can't. I ordered it the second I saw had a radio station in it. I thought I'm going to order. I know there's going to be T-shirts, and I ordered it like immediately. So I'll be wearing that on Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right.
But you're not going to be disappointed.
No,
EJ
I
Haust.
don't think I will. And I'll tell you the one pop culture can't get enough of it show. And I usually, Mr. Producer Man, I usually wait until all of the episodes are out because I too like to veg on the couch for an entire weekend, take several episodes a day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Landman, I find myself waiting for Sunday.
That is on my list.
Oh,
that is
so
on my
good.
list. Yeah, I've got to see
So good.
I
Yeah,
bet- you know
very
what?
clever.
I need to retire at some point just so I can sit around and veg for the rest of my life watching all the TV shows that I have not been able to watch.
Yeah, we tried to do Sopranos. We got through several seasons. We didn't watch it when it was on originally.
Yeah.
We were poor. We didn't have HBO, all the things that you needed to be able to watch Sopranos. And but then we watched it later. Didn't even make it to the end.
No kidding.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders didn't even make it to the
Because
end.
they sputtered.
Yeah, they sputter at the end, and I get to a point where I'm like, I don't want to waste my time.
Okay. What's not going to happen between 9 and 12 today? No sputtering at
No
like
sputtering.
11:45.
I have a strong finish
You have a
planned.
strong finish?
I do.
Okay, very good. What do you got coming up?
So I'm going to have a very controversial take on a hot topic.
Okay.
And some listeners are probably not going to like it.
I've been hearing from people all day.
Yeah, it's the virtue signal people are not going to be happy with me. So
Okay.
I'll give you that teaser. Of course, we're going to talk about the 7th. However, I want to hit some things that haven't been drilled down everybody's throats, right? So we've all heard from all the big names. We've seen all the ads. We've seen all the mailers coming in and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So no typical sound bites. We're going to talk to some people who are on the ground who have a different take and a different reason to be paying attention.